What's up guys, Kevin here, and I have only used one loan service provider for the past 7 years now, and this is the only provider that I guarantee you'll need if you have good credit. The company is called Lightstream, and they're an online service provider that only gives people loans if you have good credit, but that allows them to give you lower interest rates on completely unsecured personal loans so that you can do whatever you want with the money. And this is really key here for a lot of things that you might want to do in your house or buy a car. Getting a personal loan helps bypass a lot of the ropes and hoops that you would have to jump through with a more traditional auto loan or home equity line of credit. So in this video, I want to talk more about what Lightstream is, why you might want to use it, and also I will have my referral link in the video description. So if this video motivates you to use Lightstream, you can use that and it will give you a $50 Amazon gift card when you're approved for your personal loan. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So Lightstream is a 100% online lender, and that's one of the big things here. They have a very low overhead because they don't have any physical locations. Everything is done online through their website. So that's a part of the reason why they're able to offer things for so cheap. Now they are backed by a bank. It was actually originally owned by a company called First Again LLC. Then eventually it was bought by SunTrust in 2012. And then in 2019, SunTrust and BB&T Bank combined and created Truist Bank as a part of their merger. So now Lightstream is technically banked by Truist, and even though those banks have their own loan providers, Lightstream is still a standalone service that offers these low interest personal loans to people that have good enough credit. Now you might be wondering what you need to qualify, and like most things, it's not 100% set in stone. It depends a lot on your entire credit profile as well as who's actually reviewing it. But I have found some guidance from other websites like NerdWallet, and these are the key things they recommend before applying for a loan with Lightstream. Now it seems like the minimum is around 660. I would say make sure your credit score is above 700. That will give you the best opportunity to get not only approved, but approved for a competitive rate. And you also need a couple basic things, like you need to be a US citizen or a permanent resident. You need to be at least 18 years of age or older, and you need to have a bank in the United States because that's where all of the funding for the loan is going to go, as well as how you're going to be able to pay for the loan. So it needs to be a bank based in the US. Now the recommendation is a maximum of 50% debt to income, so you don't want to be too overstretched on your debt. And you also typically want to have at least 3 years of good credit history. The more the better, obviously, but again, at least 3 years is the recommendation. Now, even above this, I've had them ask about my liquid assets. I think they do this in most cases. As a part of the application, it asks you, how much money you have in a checking and savings account, or what kind of things could you just sell? Like how much value do you have in your things that could cover this loan if you were to lose your job or something were to happen. So you basically submit that, tell them how much money you have, and they use that as a portion of the credit application as well. Now they have multiple options for different personal loans, and you can scroll through their list to see all the different ones. The most popular one I would say is probably a car loan. I've also done the credit card consolidation several years ago. They also offer them for boats and RVs, home improvements and restorations, a lot of different things. So depending on what your loan need is, you'll put that into your credit card application, and then you'll see how everything else lines up. Now, the loan terms do depend on the type of loan that you're taking out or what you're saying the loan is funding. So they can offer anything from a $5,000 loan up to a $100,000 loans. And these are all simple fixed interest credit card loans. So no crazy APRs or adjustments or things like that throughout the loan. And I will say in general, the rates aren't as low as before. All interest rates have gone up, so that's not really a surprise, but it's still much, much cheaper than other personal loans. And even a more traditional, automotive loan or boat loan or something like that typically comes in at a higher interest rate. Now, the good news is there is a rate beat program. So if you can show them a loan that you get approved for that has a lower interest rate, they will beat that rate by 0.1%. But it does need to be another unsecured personal loan. So if you get a car loan from Chase Bank or something like that, and it's at a lower interest rate, it won't qualify for the rate beat program. It's only on other personal loans. They also do say that approximately 27% of the people that apply for loans and get approved get that lowest interest rate. So it's a pretty good chance that you will get the lowest interest rate depending again on your credit profile and how everything else stacks up. The loan terms are also anywhere from 24 to 240 months, again, depending on the loan type. And my recommendation is to go ahead and go to the website and use the little drop down menu to see all the different options. And this is something that's very difficult to see on other websites. It's another big reason why I like Lightstream, is because you can select a type of loan. It'll show you all the different terms, the different interest rates, the different, durations, whatever you would want to use. It shows you all the ranges so you can pick which one you want to go with. So this makes it really easy if you want to pick the longest term with the lowest interest rate or, something like that. This allows you to do that very easily, as well as estimate what your payments would be. Also, a little pro tip, but when you do this selection, you've got to basically put in all your terms to get the answer. If you create an account, that allows you to see the whole matrix. And so that's what shows you the full picture of everything that you can be offered. Otherwise, if you just do it on the home page, you have to put in, how many months and what the total is, and then it just spits out a number every time. But I like seeing the full picture so I can decide which rate I want to go with. Oh, and also keep in mind that these rates do include a 0.5% auto pay discount. So if you're not going to do auto pay and have them automatically withdraw the money from your bank, it'll be 0.5% higher than what it's showing. Now, the application process is pretty simple. Although there is no option to pre-qualify in advance, the actual online application is very quick. There's no income verification or anything like that. You pretty much just submit your information and they generally give you a response very quickly. There are no documentation fees, no origination fees or anything associated with that. And if you do need a cosigner, there is an option for that as well. So if you think, your credit history is kind of borderline, then you can add somebody with a better credit score and that'll give you the best opportunity to get the lowest interest rate. Now, I've gone through this about 4 times, and I think the only time I really got a question was when I applied for 2 loans within a couple months. I applied for 1 loan to buy a car. It went through pretty quickly. I got a good interest rate, and I decided I wanted to refinance another car, and that would allow me to, of course, pay it off with a personal loan and get everything in my name, but also get the lower interest rate. And so I think because of the duration between applying for the loans, on that second one, they asked for a little bit more information on the car that I was buying. And I gave them the information. It was well within the value because it was mostly paid off anyway. I just wanted to get a lower interest rate for the remaining portion of the loan I needed to pay off. And then it went through. So I think if they see anything questionable, that they just want to make sure it's not being exploited, they might ask for some follow-up questions. Otherwise, it goes through pretty seamlessly. And of course, they do have some fine print saying you can't take out a loan and say it's for a car loan and then use it for credit card consolidation or a home improvement project or something just to try to get a better interest rate. So if they think that's happening, then they might reach out and ask some more questions as well. Now, as far as the funding, once you get approved, everything again is done online. So you select how quickly you want the money to come in. If you want it the same day, there is a fee, but that is an option. Otherwise, they give it to you about 24 hours later, and that's completely free. And they'll deposit all of the money into your account. It just looks like you got a big paycheck and it gets deposited right away and you can use it for whatever you need. So again, very pain-free, like the easiest process you could have. I also like that you can pay off the loan as quickly as you want. So even if it's a 5-year loan, you can pay it off in 3 years, 2 years, whatever. And there are no prepayment penalties or fees. And also they even offer you an option to lower the payment if you make a big payment on the loan. So let's say you took out a $50,000 loan and 1 month you got, your tax refund or a bonus or something. And so you wanted to make one big payment of $5,000. They would allow you to reduce your monthly payment coordinated to the basically percentage that would reduce your total principal balance. So that way you can reduce your monthly payment for the rest of the loan. Now keep in mind, this does increase how much time you have to pay off interest, but this can reduce risk. If you were to lose your job or come upon hard times, you would have a month where you have a lower minimum payment for that month, and then you can catch up for the remaining term. So I like to take advantage of this, even though I don't actually pay less. I'm just able to reduce my minimum payment, and that makes sure, I have a little bit of a safety net if I were to have a difficult month. And of course, they do also plant a tree for every application that is approved. So once it all is funded, they do plant a tree, and that's kind of a part of their big philosophy. Doing everything online, no physical paperwork or anything, helps the environment, and planting a tree goes along with that. Now, they do have a couple of restrictions. One is you can't use the money for investments, and you can't use the money to refinance an existing Lightstream loan. Outside of that, pretty much whatever you want, you can do. Also, they don't allow you to make a payment just on the principal. They always pay off whatever interest is accrued first. Then it digs into the principal balance. So something a little bit different from some other loans that have that option. In this case, it's just another payment that takes off the interest first. But again, overall, I think that this loan is severely underrated. I don't hear enough people talking about it. If you have good credit, this is the only way to go. And again, I will have my link in the video description. So if you use that to apply for a loan and get approved, you will also get a $50 Amazon gift card as a part of your reward. And congratulations. So yeah, overall, hopefully this gives you guys a little more of an idea of what to expect with Lightstream. It's kind of a no-brainer for anybody with good credit. So yeah, I think that's all I had for today. Thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.